Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about space-like and time-like intervals. So let us consider two frames of references. One is S and another is S prime. So as you know, S prime frame is moving with the velocity v with respect to this S frame, and both the frames were coinciding at the origin at time t is equal to t prime is equal to 0. So let us now consider two events in the S frame, and the coordinate for these events in the S frame are x1, y1, z1 and t1 for the first event, and x2, y2, z2 and t2 for the second event. So we can define an interval, or you can say a displacement vector for the two events in the S frame. So the displacement vector will be equal to what? We define it by the S12, that is the difference between the two events, that is the position, the difference between the separation of, or you can say separation vector or the position vector for the two events, and it is denoted by S12, which is the separation vector, or you can call it the displacement vector, displacement 4 vector, or the interval between the two events, that will be equal to the separation, that is separation of coordinates, that is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square minus c square t2 minus t1 whole square, and it all takes to power 1 by 2. How we have defined this interval? So as you know, in space, if we define suppose this is a point in space and there is another point in space. So how will you define its position vector from the origin? Like this, a vector you draw. Suppose I give it a name R1, and suppose this point, its position vector is defined as R2. And how this separation vector is defined? Just connect these 2 points. This is defined as R12. How will you define this vector? It will be equal to x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. And if it would have been in 3-dimensional space, then you would have considered z2 minus z1 square also. So similarly, in Minkowski space, we have 4 vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other, x, y, z, and the 4th vector is ct. So here also what we need to do, we have to take the components square, add them, and then represent take its square root. That will give you the displacement vector. So in the similar manner, what we have done here, S12 has been defined as x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square minus c square t2 minus t1 square and square root of whole this term. So this is the interval. So now if we consider the same two events in the frame S prime, suppose the same two events that were occurring in the S frame, and now we are looking at these two events from the frame S prime frame. So their position for the first event, their coordinate x1, y1, z1 and t1 all will change in the S prime frame. Similarly for the second event also, this coordinate x2, y2, z2 and t2, they will change, and suppose we denote them by x1 prime, y1 prime, z1 prime, t1 prime for the first event, and x2 prime, y2 prime, z2 prime and t2 prime for the second event in the S prime frame. So what we see, these events, these two terms are going to change. That is the coordinates, 4 coordinates for the vectors or for the events will change. So the interval in these in this S prime frame will be defined as S12 prime will be equal to x2 prime minus x1 prime whole square plus y2 prime minus y1 prime whole square plus z2 prime minus z1 prime whole square minus c square t2 prime minus t1 prime whole square, and all this term taking its power 1 by 2. This is defined as the interval in the S prime frame. So as you know from the Lorentz transformation, x1 prime is equal to gamma into x minus vt, where v is the velocity of the S prime frame, y prime is equal to y, z prime is equal to z, and t prime is equal to gamma t minus xv by c square, where gamma is equal to 1 upon under root of 1 minus v square over c square. Now if you substitute these values of x1, x prime, y prime, z prime and t prime in the S12 prime, then what you will get that S12 prime will be equal to S12, that is the space-time interval in both the two frame of references will be equal. That means the separation vector are equal, however their position vectors are different in both the frame of references. So we can say that interval between two events in Minkowski space is invariant under Lorentz transformation. We have already proved it, however, that r square minus c square t square is a Lorentz invariant quantity. That means that it is not going to change if we change the frame of reference. That means this quantity is going to remain same whether we change the frame of reference or not. So now let us define the proper time in the Minkowski space. So in Minkowski space, the proper time is defined as you know, S12 prime square, S12 square is defined as x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square minus c square t2 minus t1 square. And already we have proved that S12 square is equal to S12 prime square. So this proper time here delta tau square, delta tau is basically defining the proper time. What we have done here, suppose in S12 prime frame, as you know, these terms would have been that we have taken a prime terms here. So suppose in S12 prime or in the S prime frame, the two events are occurring at the same position, that is x2 prime will be equal to x1 prime, y2 prime will be equal to y1 prime, and z2 prime will be equal to z1 prime. So when in the S prime frame the two events are occurring at the same position but at different time, then the time measured in S prime frame from the definition of proper time will be called the proper time. That means the time measured in the S prime frame will be the proper time, and so we have defined it as delta tau square. This term, that is S12 square, would have been equal to delta tau square under the special case where the two events are occurring at the same position. As you know that the two events that are occurring at the same position in S prime frame, their position may not be equal in the S frame. So in S frame this interval would have been defined as this, and you know that according to Lorentz transformation, this term would have been equal to what? Delta tau square. So, and the time measured in this frame of reference, that is S frame of reference, would not be the proper time. So the difference between the two events in this frame of reference is denoted by delta t square. So we have written is as minus of c square delta t square, and this term. So just dividing the whole term by the c square, what you will get that the difference of this term is denoted by delta x square, and this term is denoted by delta y square, and this term is denoted by delta z square. So what we have done here, we have just taken c square common. So you will get that delta tau square will be equal to delta t square minus of delta x square plus delta y square plus delta z square, and this term is divided by c square. So this term is known as the proper time because in the S prime frame of reference the events have occurred at the same position. So if we don't know, suppose if we don't know that whether the event occurring in particular frame of reference and we want to measure its proper time, then what we need to do, we need to take two events in the S frame and take their separation, not their position vector and the time that is going to take for the two event to occur, and take their difference and take their position difference divided by c square, which is invariant under all the inertial frame of references. Then you can calculate its proper time in a frame of reference where the two events are not occurring at the same position. So you can measure the proper time for a frame of reference where the two events are not occurring at the same positions. So this is the definition of the proper time in Minkowski space, you can say, or you can say that this is the definition of proper time in 4 vector space, which we will consider in the next video. So this proper time, as you know, is equal to delta t square minus delta x square plus delta y square plus delta z square, and this term divided by c square. So for an event, suppose this term, the square of these terms, that is position terms, is less than the time vector, that is delta t square, that means this term is greater than this term. So this quantity delta tau square will come out to be positive because this term is negative here. So if this term is less than delta t, so then delta tau square will be come out to be positive and it will be real quantity. And if this position term is less than 0, that if this position term is greater than the time term, that is position coordinate, sum of these position coordinate is greater than the time coordinate, then this proper time will be less than 0 and it will come out to be a negative quantity. That means delta tau square will be negative, that means you can say it is less than 0 and then it will be an imaginary quantity. So now you can divide the whole Minkowski space into 3 parts. So now you can define the space-like interval and the time-like interval. So here what we have done, we have divided the whole Minkowski space into 3 parts. One is space-like interval, another is time-like interval, and one is where x is equal to ct, or you can say the coordinates, space position coordinate are equivalent to ct, and that event is known as light-like event, where this line which is at 45 degree and it is called as light-like. So what we have done here, we have divided this whole space. So the event for which the position term is smaller than the time term, if you see this graph, this is the region. Here we have taken x and here we have taken ct term. For simplicity we have considered only 2 x's, one is x and another is ct. This line is divided which is at 45 degree. Here x is equal to ct, that is x coordinate is equal to y coordinate, you can say, or the horizontal coordinate is equal to the vertical coordinate. All the points below this line, for all the points below this line, you can say here or you can say here, always x, the value of x term, which is this, the distance of this vector, this much distance, and y term, that is ct, will have value this much. So you can say all the points which are lying below this x is equal to ct line the x coordinate will be greater than the ct coordinate. That means x, and similarly you can say in 4-dimensional space, x, y, z coordinate will be greater than the ct coordinate, and the quantity will be, the proper time quantity here will become negative. The difference, this difference will become negative, and delta tau square will come out to be negative, and that means it will be imaginary. And for all the events that are occurring here, suppose I take a point here or here, anywhere in this region, line above this line, the y coordinate, or you can say the ct coordinate, is greater than the x coordinate. Here x coordinate is this much, but ct coordinate is greater than x term. All the point above this line, ct term will be greater than x, and all the points below this line, ct will be less than x. So for all the points lying in this region, you can say the region dividing this region, you can say it is a cone. So in this cone, all the events that are lying in this cone, ct will be less than x, and delta tau will be imaginary. And for all the events that are occurring in this region, or you can see in this cone, delta tau will be greater than 0. That means the time you will calculate will be real. So for all the real events that occur, the event are occurring in this region, and where the delta tau is imaginary, you can measure. But that what it means that delta tau, a proper time, is imaginary, that means there is we cannot define a frame of reference there where these two events will occur. Whenever delta tau is imaginary, that means that frame of reference cannot be constructed basically, where the particular event will occur. We cannot find such a frame basically. So all the real event will occur in this particular region, the line connecting here. So in this region, all the event will occur. So you can define a trajectory of any particle here in this region, and such an event where and for these event where ct term is greater than x, your s12 prime, sorry, s12 square will come out to be less than 0. As you know, we have defined s12 square as this term. So all the points which are lying above this x is equal to ct line, the ct term will be greater than 0. So that means will be greater than x. So that means this quantity will be greater and this quantity will be smaller. So that means the difference will come out to be negative. So s12 square will be less than 0. That means space-time interval will be less than 0 for such events. So such events are known as time-like interval. Such interval is known as time-like interval, and all the real events occur in the time-like interval. And in the space-like interval, the s12 square, because ct is less than x, that means x term will be greater than 0. So that means s12 square will come out to be positive. That means it will be greater than 0, but delta tau will come out to be imaginary in this interval, and that is known as space-like interval. So no real event is going to occur in the space-like interval. And if a particle, suppose this region is also the time-like region, here also, but you can say it denotes the past event, and this region is denoting the future events. So any event, if it is going to occur and it is to go from past to future, it will have to go through this origin only. It cannot happen that an event is occurring here and it will move from here to here. That means from the region space-like interval, it will not move from space-like interval to time-like interval. It will always go from like this. It can never move into this region. So always origin will be closed, you can say. So these events are known as space-like and time-like intervals. As I have already defined, this term I have already defined, let's just skip this term. So we can say for the time-like interval, you can note down these points. that S12 square will be less than 0. So if the interval between two events is time-like, then there is some frame of reference where the events occur at the same place, and there is no frame of reference where the event occur at the same time. And the event that occur first in one frame of reference occurs first in all the frames of reference, all the inertial frames of references. And the value of time-like interval determines the proper time between the two events, that is the time between the events as measured in a frame of reference where they occur at the same position. And similarly, we can define the space-like intervals. These we can say, for the space-like interval, we can say that this separation vector S12 square is going to be less than 0, and if this interval between two events is space-like, then there is some frame of reference where the events occur at the same time, and there is no frame of reference where the event occur at the same place. So the value of space-like interval is actually the proper distance between the two events, that is the distance as measured in a frame of reference where the two events occur at the same time. So in some books you will find that the notations are different. Even some students have asked whether we can take this interval as opposite. You may find in some reference books this interval as defined as see, we have defined this interval as this. Let me just move to the. We have defined this interval as this. So in some books you will find that this interval is defined as this term before. You can write c square term is positive, that is c square t2 minus t1 square, and the whole term which is lying below is taken as negative c square. So the interval will be defined as S12 will be equal to c square t2 minus t1 whole square minus of x2 minus x1 square minus y2 minus y1 square minus z2 minus z1 square and square root of all the term. This notation is also not incorrect. The only difference is that they have taken their time axis at the horizon, the CT axis at the horizon, and the x axis as the vertical axis. So in that case, only the matrix that I have already mentioned for the Lorentz transformation will change, but the result or the transformation are going to remain the same. So until and unless your transformation are similar, that means your transformation equation is the same, you can take the axis according to your convenience, but your transformation equation should whatever axis you choose, your transformation equation should be the same that you have considered, where the time axis was at the vertical and the space axis were at the horizontal. So in that case also, if you take this if you define this space interval as this, where the time axis is at the horizon and the space axis is at the vertical, then the definition for space-like and time-like interval will change, but the proper time is going to remain same. So you whatever notation you choose, always try to find out this proper time term and define the space-like interval where the proper time is real. So time for the time-like interval, the proper time is going to be real, and for the space-like interval, the proper time is going to be imaginary. So if you consider the same thing, where the space, if we define the space-time interval in such a way that your time axis is at the origin and your space axis is at the vertical, then your for the space-like interval, the that term will become the for space-like interval, the proper time should be imaginary. So for that to happen, as you know, proper time is defined as this term is going to be smaller than this term. So S12 is going to be in that case negative. So the condition for this is going to you can say is going to switch. But remember, for the time-like interval, the proper time is going to be real. and for space like interval the proper time is going to be imaginary. So whatever notation you choose, always define proper time, and from proper time you can find out whether this S12 square is positive for space like interval or negative for space like interval. It can be positive or negative for space like interval, but proper time should always be real for the space like for time like intervals.